Whenever you hear about profitable assets, people just tell you to go purchase real estate, buy yourself a house, and that's the best asset you're gonna have. But in this video, I'm gonna be telling you 6 assets that could actually give you a very high return that you could purchase to make money besides a house. And the first one being antique cars. If you guys wanna put your money somewhere else other than real estate, then buying antique cars is a great way to go, because a lot of these old cars actually have higher returns than real estate in a lot of instances. Let's say, for example, you bought an antique car for $25,000 5 years ago. If the car is very rare and there's only a few of them ever made and you got a decent deal on that vehicle, then over the next few years it could gain like 20% every year, especially if the demand for that brand goes higher, or especially if more people start to learn about how antique and how vintage this vehicle was. If you own a vehicle that's gaining 20% a year, that means after 5 years you would have doubled the money that you spent on that car. And on top of that, having an antique car is just pretty dope, because when I look at them, they just look so different from all of the modern day cars, and I could see why people would spend so much money on them. They normally have extremely nice interiors, very basic exteriors with a very bright color, nice rims, and just a whole lot of aspects that people will be a lot more intrigued to look at, as opposed to just looking at an electronic Tesla. So buy yourself an antique car if you guys want to invest in some other assets. That's definitely a great one to consider in my opinion. Another thing that you want to purchase are art pieces. If you guys want to store your money in a safe asset, then art pieces are a great way to go, because there are some art pieces that are worth millions of dollars that some people buy for thousands. And on top of that, art is something that you could store inside of your house, which means that it's not going to take up a whole lot of space, but it's a great store of value. And on top of that, it's something that looks pretty dope if you don't plan on selling it anytime soon. A lot of rich people in today's society collect art, whether that be Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Just all of these people have a store of value in some type of art, because it's something that's very easy to hold on to, and it's not really something that needs to be maintained throughout the entire year, just like a house would be. With the house, you have to take care of plumbing, you got to make sure the paint is upkept, your tiles are good. There's just so many things that you got to worry about. But with art, all you have to do is make sure you have a place to store it, make sure that it's not getting dirty in any way, and make sure you keep it away from water, and you're pretty much good to go. And over time, this art could gain so much value that you could resell it for the price that a house would cost. So if you guys want to make some money, or if you guys are looking to store your money in a pretty cool asset, then I definitely suggest art. But for the most part, the type of art that I'm talking about in this video is vintage art that could end up being featured in museums in the future. Now, another unique asset that you guys could purchase other than a house are rare purses. In case you guys haven't heard of Hermes, this is a luxury brand that pretty much has some of the most expensive purses in the world, known as Birkins. And Birkins themselves could go for like $300,000, $200,000, just a bunch of 6-figure purses for the most part. And the thing is, when you think of somebody buying a 6-figure bag, you're probably thinking, wow, that person is really dumb. But I'm gonna be honest with you, these people are seeing some of the best returns that you'd really be surprised of. Some people buy these purses for $100,000, and like a few years later, they're worth $150,000, because the rarity went up for each individual purse. And the more that this rarity goes up, the more the value goes up. So if you're buying an expensive purse like a Birkin, you could expect to see a very large return, because the demand just keeps going up, especially with rappers mentioning it in all of their songs these days. And on top of that, people just like stuff that is very expensive. And if you have one of the most expensive purses, then you automatically have something that's worth a whole lot of money. And the best part is, most people don't even sell these purses at a loss. Normally they end up doubling their money, which is pretty cool. And some people literally only invest in these purses specifically. There are some people that just have a room full of Birkins. That room in itself has millions of dollars worth of purses that they could end up selling all of them for a profit. And they end up holding onto these purses because they keep seeing a very good annualized return that you could also see if you consider buying some rare purses. Now, I'm not saying you need to buy a Birkin to see those type of returns. You could buy purses that are a whole lot cheaper from Louis Vuitton and other places. But for the most part, when you buy a rare purse, you're gonna see a very good appreciation on that asset. And although I would never think a purse would be considered an asset, it pretty much is, because it's helping you store your value and you're seeing an annualized return on it. And on top of that, it's something that you could resell and make money off of. So consider buying yourself some rare purses if you guys are looking for a different type of asset to invest into. Another great thing that you could purchase, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already buy right now, is gold. Gold is a rare element that's found all over the world, and people sell it and buy it all of the time. If you go into a pawn shop, you're gonna find gold. If you go to the mall, you're gonna find gold. If you walk around your neighborhood, you're gonna find somebody with gold around their neck or their wrist. And for the most part, gold is an appreciating asset that a lot of people have invested in for a very long time. If you guys don't want to invest in the actual physical gold, you could actually buy gold on the currency market. But for the most part, in this video, I'm talking about buying physical gold that you could end up reselling for a whole lot of money. For the past few years, gold has actually been gradually increasing in value. And if you would have invested in gold a very long time ago, then you would have got some very high returns on your money. The best part about gold is you could actually wear it and use it, and you could still resell it for a profit. So it's not like you're going to be buying something that's just not useful to you at all. But there are a few things that people end up doing that makes it lose a whole lot of value, and that includes making holes in it to install diamonds, especially on gold watches and that type of stuff. But for the most part, if you guys just buy solid gold and you leave it as is and you just hold on to it for a few years, you could see a very nice return on that investment. So if you guys thought about buying that Cuban link, I wouldn't say it's that bad of a purchase, because if you hold on to it long enough and you don't damage it, you might even make some money just from buying something that you've already wanted before. And just like you could buy gold, you could also buy land. In case you guys haven't noticed, people buy land all of the time to build private properties, to build businesses, and to do all types of commercial real estate projects. So if you guys purchase land in states or cities that you feel as though could develop a whole lot more in the next few years, then you might end up seeing a huge return. Because let's say a business wanted to build a hotel in the area that you own land for. If they want to build that hotel in that spot, that means they have to have the legal rights of the land and they have to purchase it from you. And if this is a project that they really want to get done, then they might end up paying you a few $100,000 for that spot. There are so many people out there who bought land or a house in a certain area and they've been living in that spot their whole lives, but then they have the government come and offer them so much money that they can't even resist it, because they have a project they want to work on in that exact same spot. So just buying land in different spots is going to help you get a good annualized return. And I'm pretty sure that if you buy some land right now in a certain area, then people are going to end up moving over there and building their houses over time as well. And this is going to help your land gain more and more value. Land is not going to be going anywhere. As you guys could see, land is very limited, if anything. And once you have it, you own it for life. So it's definitely a great purchase to make other than a house. And you could also purchase a franchise as a different type of asset. If you guys go out on the street and you drive all of the time, you've probably passed a few fast food chains like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, Wendy's, so on and so forth. And if you were to purchase one of those franchises for, let's say, $100,000, then that means that you'd be making profit off of the revenue that each of those franchises generates on a yearly basis. Owning a franchise is almost like owning a portion of a business or buying a physical stock to a business, because now you're actually incorporated with what goes on in that facility, and you also act as like a manager because you help run all of the behind the scenes stuff. And long story short, you'll make a whole lot of money doing this if you invest in the right types of franchises. Let's take Chick-fil-A for instance. In case you guys haven't been to a Chick-fil-A, just know that you're going to end up waiting in a very long line, but the line moves really fast. Like the line could wrap around the entire building, if not a whole plaza, and they'll still find a way to get that line to move extremely fast. And that line just stays there the entire day, which means there's so many customers that are buying food from Chick-fil-A. Now imagine if you actually owned a franchise for Chick-fil-A. Once you buy that franchise, you're making so much money just from the people that actually attend that facility, because that's money that's going to end up coming into the business's pocket. And since you own that area or that business, then that's revenue that you'll end up splitting up between you and your employees. So it's definitely a great idea to purchase a franchise. It's something that I'm looking into personally. So once I have enough, I want to buy one. I really want to see how this works fully, so I'm gonna do more research. But for the most part, franchises seem like a very great investment that I suggest you guys take a look into if you guys are looking to invest your money somewhere unique. So other than that, these are the 6 different types of ways that you could invest your money other than buying a house. All of these are going to help you see some type of decent return, so consider doing some research on all of them before you invest into them. And remember, this is not financial advice, this is just a YouTube video, so make sure you do your own research. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and of course turn on post notifications if you're new. Besides that, I'll see you guys in the next one.